maybe keep it a couple of seconds.
We're here.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Veronika. I work as a business development executive at PETANI Logistics, and today I'm here with Sophia.
Hi everybody, my name is Sophia. I work as a warehouse manager in PETANI Logistics company.
Yeah, hi everyone. So this is a series of weekly webinars that we host at our page. Today we are going to talk about dangerous goods, their classification, storage, transportation, etc., etc. Maybe we'll start off with getting a little bit more familiar with us. So PETANI Logistics, we've been working for a little bit more than 8 years now. We do logistics, international logistics for all the possible routes there are. We started off with Ukraine to US, China to US, and now are covering Japan, Pakistan, South America, Canada, Great Britain. So you can always reach out to us and we will help you out or assist. And Sophia, as a warehouse manager, maybe you can share about it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Veronika. Yeah, we have at the warehouse department at PETANI Logistics, we have warehouses all across USA, that means in West Coast, East Coast, and in the Central America. Speaking about the states, we have warehouses in California, in Texas, New York, and New Jersey. Also, we have one warehouse in Canada and in UK, sorry, and we can help you with a full range of fulfillment and storage needs you will ever need.
Yes, you will ever need. So yes, you can always reach out to any of our managers or just send us a message on Facebook and we'll talk. So yes, we can go ahead and start with our webinar. It is about dangerous goods. So we'll start off maybe with a little bit more sharing what are the classifications. So the system of international regulations for dangerous goods and especially for their transportation is quite complex. I would say that the main regulatories include like United Nations, IATA, International Air Transport Association, and etc. And the UN uses UN recommendations on the transport of dangerous goods, which are model regulations. So regarding the classification for dangerous goods, we have 9 classes. First is explosive materials and objects. Class 2 is different substances of gas. 3, 4 goes flammable substances. Toxic is for class 6. And radioactive and corrosive materials, they have their own classes for 7 and 8.
Yeah, and I want to ask here, what about my products and my items not fall well, from either of the following UN classes?
Yeah, so got it. So as I said, there are 9 classes, and the 9th class is for other materials that do not fall under the previous 8 of them. But they are very specific, so I'm sure that it's not like that often that it happens that products fall under 9th category. So yes, I want everyone to remind the story, the event that happened 2 years ago that was shown on every news, on every corner of the world. What happened in Beirut in Lebanon on August 4th. It was a massive explosion that happened in port, killing at least 200 people, injuring thousands, and causing billions of dollars in property damage. And so why it happened? There was a shipment of almost 3,000 tons of the substance of ammonium nitrate that has been stored in a warehouse without proper security measures for the last 6 years after it was confiscated from the derelict vessel. The explosion was preceded by fire in the same warehouse. And the explosion was so powerful that it physically shook all of Lebanon. It was felt in Turkey, Syria, Palestine. It was felt in Europe, and also it was heard in Cyprus, which is like over 100 miles away. And it was registered by U.S. Geological Survey as a magnitude 3.3 seismic event and is considered to be one of the most powerful random man-made non-nuclear explosions in history. So yeah, that's what happens, and that's why we are having a webinar for you to understand the classifications, understand the risks, and what actually dangerous goods are, and why are they dangerous. So even though many of those substances and chemicals cause fire in ships, we have repeatedly seen how the same goods were incorrectly declared and transported as non-dangerous. So we have calcium hypochlorite with more than 20 accidents per year. Lithium batteries, at least 2-3 major accidents per year over the last 5 years. We have charcoal and charcoal tablets that we will talk a little bit later about, and metal shavings and organic peroxides with 1-2 cases per year. So we'll start off with calcium hypochlorite. So a little bit of being a chemic nerd. So it is a chemical compound which is like white yellow substance, solid. It dissolves in water with a distinct smell of chlorine. Can you guess what it is?
Maybe something for water. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something created for water for aquariums or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. It is easy to guess when I say when it dissolves in water, it has a chlorine smell.
Mhm.
Because if you go to a nearest swimming pool, of course, what you will smell chlorine. So it is widely used. You can just pick up a bag in a store and and use it. So that's why it is dangerous, and make sure to keep it in a safe measurement. So it actually rose to prominence in the 60s when it was involved in several major ship explosions and fires. So the substance is self-reactive, which means that it can undergo thermal decomposition on its own. This is why material loses chlorine over time when stored at normal ambient temperatures. And when it releases of the heat, and the reaction rate can increase if this heat is not dissipated. Generally, chemical reactions proceed faster at higher temperatures, as we all know from chemistry at 8th grade. At elevated temperatures, the self-reactive behavior can reach critical status, after which the decomposition rate increases dramatically, which can lead to an explosion. Over the past 10 years, there has been at least like one incident per year, and sometimes even more. And it includes major explosions and fires, some of which have resulted in loss of life and extensive damage, as it happened in Peru, but with a different substance. Next, we have lithium batteries. Due to their high energy density, they are used in a huge variety of products. It goes from mobile phones to uninterruptible power supplies. This high energy density also means they are prone to short circuits or thermal runaways, which happen in many cases when transported in containers on board ships. There were fires with lithium batteries in equipment shipped as individually packaged batteries, recycled batteries, in many cases just misdeclared cargo. A typical case that we are facing is a fire of mobile phone batteries that have been reported as phone accessories. Instead, when we look at the product, we see thousands of batteries stored together with very little separation between them. So if heating starts in one, there's very little to do to prevent the ignition of others. One of the main risks that we have found both in ships and in ground service is that combustible gases are released from batteries when they are involved in a fire. In addition, we also saw cases where burning batteries reacted to water, which made it extremely difficult to extinguish the fire, so you would have to foam it. Another case we have is charcoal. Over the past 10 years, this cargo has become a major problem as various charcoal products are shipped from Asia mainly. If the manufacturing process is poor or the product didn't have enough time to cool before loading, it will self-heat to ignite. If container is below the deck, this results in an extremely serious fire that is very difficult to extinguish, often continuing to burn despite being submerged. That's what happened, and that's the photo I saw and the story behind it. I saw a photo of a fire involving charcoal tablets for hookah pipes. The situation became very interesting for the shore crew when the still burning container landed on the jetty, and the jolt scattered fine powder coal, causing the fireball to rise like about 20 meters above the ground. Yeah. So the Coastal Fire Brigade gave up trying to extinguish the container after 20 hours of burning. So they just gave up and decided to let it burn, and it was burning for 10 days.
Oh, wow, that's spectacular and it's horrifying at the same time. Like you cannot set off or finish the fire for more than a week.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it is so important to identify the dangerous goods and properly store them. And since we did start to talk about storage, maybe you can go ahead and share your part of the information.
Yeah, sure. My part of information will consider like mainly what types of warehouses we have in general, and what type of warehouses we can store hazmat clothes and maybe cold storage loads, and I will tell you about this. So mainly there are 7 types of the warehouses. We know there should be distribution center, public warehouse, private warehouse, climate control, smart, bonded, and consolidated and reconsolidated warehouses. Speaking of which, starting from the very first public warehouse, as you understand from the name of it, the warehouse available for publicity, and they're very common for Amazon sellers to fulfill their services, to store their products, and so on. Distribution centers can work with many suppliers and manufacturers, but they provide services for the short-term storage and the quick shipment for the larger name of the goods. And for example, they are good for the retail stores and so on. And private warehouse, from the name suggests, is owned by the large corporations. As you know, large corporations, large online markets like Amazon, and they're also for storing goods and partly for fulfilling the services and operating the services on the goods you have installed now. Smart warehouse, kind of automated, they use robotic there from unloading to fulfill to like load to like outbound, like make the outbound loads. Bounded warehouses are using for the items and goods that were not custom cleared, and they store on this facility before they could do so. And climate control warehouse, from the name you can guess that they work with the food, beverages, everything that need the temperature control. We have the huge refrigerator system there. So yeah, they should be under specific temperature control. And consolidated warehouse, we have two. We have one in Kiev and one in China. The consolidated warehouse means that you could put the goods there and then consolidate it so it could move to one direction, for example. And reconsolidated warehouse is pretty much the vice versa system, that you could put goods, it will reconsolidate and move to another one directions. And also, I want to advise about the FDA certified warehouses, the warehouses which have like FDA certification, and where you can store everything that falls under the FDA rules. For example, food, dietary supplies, skincare products, and so on. And they regulate the procedure of storing them, of sending them back to the final customer, to the final client. They're looking that the terms of usage would not expire before the time. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell about to tell about the spectacle of the warehouses.
Okay, great. So yes, if you have like questions regarding storage or maybe classifications of goods, you can always reach out to us. And we would like to end with a very important question that we asked ourselves when researching the information for this webinar, when preparing. Are the table tennis balls classified as dangerous goods? There is ITF rules for the tennis balls to be a specific diameters, be specific weight and everything, and it has to be made of celluloid or similar plastics. But that's where the danger is lying. The celluloid is highly flammable and it releases toxic gases when burned. And in closed cargo tanks, these vapors can form explosive mixtures with air. That's why they are considered to be dangerous, which the 19th edition of the UN Model Regulation claims that the table tennis balls are considered to be dangerous goods. They are classified under UN 2000 Hazard Class 4.1. But there is an exception, and it is made for those shipments where the individual tennis ball is under 3 grams and the overall net weight of the shipment is under 500 grams, so they are not to be dangerous. So if you sell table tennis balls on Amazon, you can make shipments under 500 grams and be okay and not worry about the classification for that. Thank you for your time. Though this was our webinar for dangerous goods, their storage, transportation, etc., etc. You can always reach out to us through comments or text any of us, Sophia or me. If you have questions regarding the classification and because you have a shipment, you can always message me and we will be glad to provide you with a consultation and help you and assist you with the shipment.
The same way we can we can give you a consultation about either we can store this or that product, what services we can provide you, what rates you would have for this, and you're pretty welcome to shoot us an email or leave us a comment in the Facebook group.
Yes, we do have a small news. We are actually accepting cargo for a consolidated truck from Ukraine to Great Britain. So if you want to know if the price is good, if the terms are good, please reach out to any of our managers and we'll be glad to provide you with an offer. So yes, thank you everyone. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you, Veronika.
Yes, thank you everyone. Please join us on the next webinar next week and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Bye bye.